You know that feeling, right? That little gap, the one between the person you are right now and the person you kind of wish you could be. It's that nagging voice in your head whispering about all the things you should be doing to build a better life. So, why is it so incredibly hard to make those changes actually stick? I mean, you start out with the best intentions, right? Maybe it even works for a week or a month. But then, somehow, you find yourself slipping right back into your old ways. It is such a frustrating cycle. And we're talking about those classicals, Things like working out, eating healthier, maybe reading more books. We all want this stuff, but something always seems to get in the way, doesn't it? Now, a lot of the hustle culture stuff you see online might tell you it's just a failure of willpower, that you just didn't want it enough. But honestly, that's not the whole story. The truth is, making a lasting change is scientifically difficult. It's not some personal failing. It's a battle against your brain's most basic programming. All right, so let's dive into this. To really get why change is so tough, we need a good metaphor. Think of it like this. You need to understand the landscape you're working with, which is basically a jungle inside your head. Okay, so picture your brain as this super dense, overgrown jungle. Every single decision you have to make is like trying to find your way through it. It's hard. It takes a ton of mental energy. And here's the thing about our brains. They are fundamentally lazy. They're what you'd call energy misers. They hate working hard if they don't absolutely have to. So think about it. When you try something new for the very first time, let's say starting a morning workout, you are literally hacking your way through that thick jungle with a machete. You're stomping down weeds, pushing branches aside. You're creating this really rough, barely visible path. It's slow, it's exhausting, and it takes a ton of effort. Now, compare that to your old habits. Through years and years of repetition, those behaviors aren't rough trails anymore. Oh no, they're wide, paved, multi-lane superhighways. So when your brain has a choice, hack through the jungle or cruise down the easy highway, well, being the energy saver it is, it's going to pick that highway every single time. It's just easier. So who builds these highways anyway? Well, it turns out there are basically two little construction managers running the show inside your head. You've got a wise, thoughtful planner, and you've got a very impulsive toddler. And they're each in charge of a different kind of behavior, routines and habits. Okay, first up, let's talk about routines. A routine is something you do consciously. You're thinking about it, you're doing it on purpose. It's like following a recipe step by step, or setting your alarm for 6:30 a.m. because you know you need to wake up. It's a deliberate, calculated choice. A habit, though, that's totally different. A habit is a routine that you've done so many times, it now runs on complete autopilot. You don't think about it, you just do it. It all starts with a trigger. You see your phone, you unlock it. You get in the car, you put on your seatbelt. Boom, automatic. So, back to our two managers. That wise planner part of your brain, that's who handles the routines. It's slow, it's analytical, it's always thinking about the future. But the impulsive toddler, that's who's in charge of the habits. It's super fast, lives completely in the moment, and only cares about one thing, what feels good right now. It just wants the cookie, and it wants it now. Now, it's really easy to think the toddler is the bad guy here, right? Like it's just trying to sabotage all your goals, but that's not it at all. It's actually a super important energy-saving feature. Think about it. Your planner is busy with the really hard stuff, like doing your taxes or trying to parallel park. The toddler takes over all the boring, everyday tasks, so the planner has enough brain power for the big things. They're actually a team. Okay, so here's the really crucial part. We can actually use this whole system to our advantage. The secret to making lasting change isn't about fighting that toddler with sheer willpower. That never works. The secret is to teach it a new, better behavior. The goal is to build a brand new highway that it'll want to take automatically. And here's the playbook, a simple 4-step process. First, you start tiny. I mean, so small it feels almost silly. Second, you set a super clear trigger. Third, you've got to make it enjoyable in some way, not a punishment. And fourth, you repeat it every single day. That's how you pave the new road. Let's really break that down. A big, vague goal like get in shape, that's going to paralyze you. Your planner gets it, but your toddler hears a ton of hard work and just shuts down. But what about do 10 squats? See, that's specific. It's so small that it's actually hard to say no to. It's that first tiny, manageable step into the jungle. Next up is the trigger. You need to create a really powerful one that your toddler can latch onto. And it's not just about setting a time, it's about the whole context. So you've got the what. Lay out your workout gear the night before. You've got the where. Decide you'll do it right in your living room. And you've got the when. Say 8 a.m. every single morning. That combination, what, where, when, becomes the automatic start button for your brain. It's the signal that says, okay, it's time to do the thing. So you're doing all this stuff, the tiny steps, the triggers. How long does it actually take for this to become automatic? Well, this is where our expectations often get us into trouble. Building a real habit isn't about one big heroic effort. It's more like a long, steady walk in the right direction. So how long until that jungle path becomes a superhighway? Well, first things first, forget that myth about 21 days to form a habit. It's just not true. Real scientific studies show the range is huge, anywhere from 15 days all the way up to 250 days. It really depends on you, on how complex the habit is, on a ton of different things. The most important thing to remember is this: there is no magic number. Look, that first rush of motivation, that'll get you through the first week, maybe two. That's the easy part. The real challenge is just continuing day after that initial excitement wears off. But here's the good news. And you gotta hold on to this. With every single repetition, that little jungle path gets a tiny bit wider, a little bit smoother. I promise you, it does get easier. And that really brings us to the most important idea of all. True success isn't about finally reaching some perfect, finished version of yourself. It's just about pointing yourself in the right direction and then taking one more tiny, manageable step. The real victory isn't about crossing a finish line. It's about choosing to stay on the path, day after day,